The three functions that I want to cover here, or that need to go hand in hand to accomplish what I want to show you, is the write, find, and len. Now, I already covered the find function in the previous training video, so I'll quickly go over it here. First of all, the write function. What that will do is it'll look in any cell, starting over to the right-hand side of the cell, and count up and return the exact number of characters that you define. For example, let me go ahead and insert the write function here in this cell by hitting the equals key on the keyboard and typing in the first couple of letters of the name of the function, and there's the description. It says it'll return the specified number of characters from the end of a text string. Well, what's the end if I select the cell? Well, it's the right-hand side. Let me go ahead and hit the tab key and pop it open and answer the first argument in bold, which is the text. We're not looking for text, well we are, but it's going to be within that cell, so let me go ahead and select the cell, hit comma, answer the second bolded argument, which is the number of characters. So when it looks in this cell, how many characters starting from the right hand side do we want it to return? Well, I think we want 7 because I think that's how many is in Klinger. So I'll type in 7, hit enter, and boom, there we go. Let me go ahead and copy that function to the other cells down below and see exactly what part or all of the last names that we get. Hover over the lower right hand corner, and this is one shortcut that you can use, until you get the black cross. If you click and drag that black cross down, it'll copy that function down to the other cells, or the shorter shortcut, if you're copying down in the same column, is to double click really fast on that black cross and boom, there you go. And wow, unless you have exactly 7 characters in your last name here, you're going to be cut off. Or if you got shorter than 7 characters, it starts including the last letter of your first name, like K in Frank for Frank Burns. Well, you probably guess what I'm looking at here is I want to be able to return just the last name in this column here. So doing the write function by itself isn't going to work. I got to find another function that will work and pull in and combine the two to be able to return and figure out the exact number of characters for each cell, and then return those letters accordingly, as we just saw in the previous training video with the left, find, and search functions. In fact, let's go over the find function. Let's go ahead and hit equals, type in find. There it is. And again, it returns the starting position of one text string within another. Let me hit the tab key and quickly go over it. What do we want to find? Well, we want to find the space. In other words, we want to count up starting at the right-hand side, but the find function doesn't start on the right-hand side, so this presents a dilemma. In any case, we want to count up all the characters until it hits a wall, and that wall is going to be the delimiter, the space. And when I say delimiter, it can be any character like a colon, a semicolon, a comma. In this case, it's going to be the space. So what text do we want to find? It's going to be the character, space, so open quotes, space, close quotes, comma, to go to the next argument here that's in bold. Within what cell? Well, it says within what text, but we're looking at a cell here. And then basically I could just close it off there, because the last argument says what number do you want to start with when you start your counting? Well, I always start with 1, unless I want to skip and say I want to start counting with 6. But as I explained in the previous training video, that's just going to create problems if when you start counting and you hit that wall, or it gets to that delimiter before it's finished counting, it's going to give you raspberries, some errors, and that's not good. So if I just leave it, the default count is going to start with the number 1. So just go ahead and hit enter, and let me select that cell and double click in the lower right hand corner to quickly copy that function to all the other cells down below. So when you look at this, if we combine the two and we say, okay, fine, we like this function because it returns the actual letters from the cell. But the problem is it can't count right. In other words, I can't get my numbers straight because not all the last names have exactly 7 characters, but this one finds it. Well, what it does is it starts to the left side and it counts all the characters until it hits the space, and it actually includes the space. So now if I could just somehow switch that around or do something where it says, okay, give me the characters, but starting from the right-hand side until you hit the space. Well, Excel doesn't have something fancy like that, so instead of working and combining just 2 functions, as we saw in the previous training video, we have to add a third function. It's going to be the len function. Let me come over here. Hit equals, type in len, and there's the function. Hit the down arrow to select it, and it says this function will return the number of characters in a text string. Let me go ahead and hit the tab key to pop it open, and it says, okay, what cell do you want to look up and return all the characters within that cell? It's going to be this one. Hit enter, and then go ahead and select it. Double click in the lower right hand corner really fast to copy that. And now let me go ahead and explain. So the len function goes ahead and it counts every character within that cell. The find function counts everything beginning from left to right until it hits a delimiter, like the space. What if I took this cell and subtracted from, or that function, and subtracted from that one, and I counted or started over to the right hand side with the right function? Wouldn't I get the exact character here, 7? What's 11 minus 4? That's 7. Well, let me come down to Burns. What's 11 minus 6? That's 5. How many letters in his last name, Burns? B-U-R-N-S, 5. Well, let's go ahead and try it and see. Let me go ahead and right-click on column G and insert another column. Select that cell, and we're going to combine all these functions together. In other words, we're going to be nesting one in another. Go ahead and hit the equals key. We're going to type in the name of the first function, which is right. There it is. Hit the tab key to open it up. And it says, okay, what text or cell are we looking in? Well, it's going to be this one right here. So let me go ahead and select it. Hit comma. And it says, okay, how many characters do you want to pull in? Well, to find those characters, like I said, we're going to take the len function here, the total number of characters within the cell, and subtract it from the find function. So let's go ahead and type in the len function, which is L-E-N. There it is. Hit the tab key to pop it open. And then it says, okay, what cell? Well, what text do you want to look in? It's going to be a cell. Select the same cell. Then we want to go ahead and close the parentheses for that function. So we have the right outer function. Then we have inside a nested function. And we're going to take that function there when it completes and subtract it. So go ahead and hit the minus key on the keyboard from the, let's type in the find function. Type it in, hit tab. There it is. The first argument, what are we finding? What text? Well, remember, it's going to be open quotes, space, close quotes. So it's going to find everything until it hits that delimiter, that wall. Hit comma. Let's go to the next argument. Within what text or what cell? Select the same cell again. And then, like I said, if we just leave this one alone, the starting number for accounting is going to be 1. I don't have to type in 1. It's just a waste. So I'll leave that alone. Go ahead and close my parentheses. So we have the find function taken care of, and open and close parentheses. But remember, that's nested within the right, and the right has one open parenthesis, so we have to go ahead and shift and close the second set of parentheses. And if you remember or you recall, in algebra, the order of operation, whatever within the parentheses inside, it'll calculate first. So it looks at the right function, but it goes inside and looks at these other parentheses, and it says, okay, I'm looking in this cell. I'm going to count up the total number of characters in that cell, which is the len function, subtract it from the total number of characters that it finds starting in the left-hand side of the cell until it hits a wall, which is going to be that delimiter, that character. When I'm finished, go ahead and hit enter, and let's test it. Select it, lower right-hand corner, double-click really fast on that black cross to do a quick copy, and there we go. Perfect. And then, looking at each cell, I've got the result of the function. I don't want the function, I actually want the value. So what I can do is go ahead and select it, Control-C to copy it, and then go ahead and paste it somewhere else, or paste it in the same section here. And to paste it, it's got to be a special paste, not just a simple paste, because we just want to paste the values or the results of that function. So go ahead and right-click in that selection, or you can click in another cell here, and then right-click, and then go to, under Paste Options, Values. Select it. Let me click off in a blank area, hit the escape key to get rid of the marching ants, and click in that cell, and there you go. If I double click, notice that the cursor is right up against the last name, so there's no extra characters. It exactly extracted the last name of each of the full names listed here. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.